All right. If you're someone out there applying for jobs in Japan and you're not getting any interviews, even though you feel like you're actually a good match, this video should allow you to make sense of the situation. I will try to share with you what I believe are some of the most common reasons why, when you apply for all those jobs online, and your profile seems like a match, you still don't get interviews. I imagine that this is super frustrating for people out there. What I'm about to share with you, the reasons that I'm about to share with you, are not accessible to you. And most of recruiters probably will not share this with you. So, my goal here is really to allow you to understand what is going on behind the scenes and also make sure that you don't lose your motivation and slightly adjust your way of job hunting. If you stick until the end of the video, I will also share what I believe is right now the ultimate hack to land interviews. I don't see anyone doing it. And if I was on the job market right now, knowing what I know, that's what I will do. So stick around. Before we get into it, quick introduction. If you're new here, my name is Axel. I am the founder of InnoHyve, a recruitment agency in Tokyo, through which we specialize in recruiting for, I'm so stiff. We recruit for deep tech startups, mostly around robotics, AI, and yeah, all the cool stuff, basically. Focusing mostly on deeply technical roles. So whatever I say, whatever perspective I have, know that I am still a very specialized person when it comes to tech, and this might not apply to other industries. Although I feel like it is. It does. Anyway, I will walk you through some reasons that I believe are causing you to not get responses when it comes to your job applications out there for job openings that you feel are matching with your background. You will notice that a lot of the reasons are out of your control. Some of them are in your control. And hopefully, with what I provide to you today, you can slightly adjust your way of job hunting. Make sure to let me know if this kind of content is valuable. Let's dive into it. So the first reason that you don't get responses on those job application you apply for are simply that the job applications are not real. This is very common practice. A lot of recruitment agencies are doing it, and even a lot of companies are doing this. They put job openings out there on their website, and the reason they do it is they want to collect as much data and as many candidates as possible to build up a database so that when the timing is right and when they want to hire people, they actually have a lot of people in the database in their CRM. So super frustrating. An easy way to see and recognize those roles, those fake roles, is usually they are fairly generic, and also sometimes they've been opened for a very long time. If it's like a mid-level type of engineering role that's been open for months and months, it probably should tell you that the job might be fake, just a database filler, or the company is not urgently hiring. They have the luxury to wait. And a false belief out there for a lot of companies is that they believe that the longer they wait to hire, the better talent will show up. It's simply not the case, but yeah. So job is not real, company is not really urgently looking for someone. You know something that I will personally do if there's a job out there that I feel like is really matching and it's been open for a while, and I don't get any response, I will simply ask some people on LinkedIn, like, hey, I've applied for this job and I don't get any response even though I match really well the role. Are you guys serious about hiring? Like, what is the situation, basically? Be proactive and reach out. You will be surprised on the fact that most of the people you compete with when it comes to get the job aren't doing it. So anyway, another another reason why you might not get interviews is simply because your resume is being reviewed by someone who doesn't have a technical background, and all they really look for in your resume are specific keywords that are matching the job description. And so if you're resume is not really tailored towards the job description, or at least towards the keywords that this recruiter, internal recruiter, is looking for, you might just be skipped. And I think what happens often in this kind of situation is that engineers, they have a technical background, and they have the full landscape on the technical aspect, right? If you're someone who can code in C++ and Rust, you automatically assume that, well, anyone will understand that I also can code in Python, for example, right? And this is not the case. So what you believe is a logical and very obvious thing is not for someone who's not technical. And so those people that review your resume often are not able to connect the dots. So if your resume is not highly efficient when it comes to showcasing the keywords that are being looked for, you will be skipped on. I'm pretty sure even an AI might do that. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I've seen weird situations where someone has the perfect resume for a job, but they just get skipped because they don't emphasize on the right keywords. So, anyway, be aware of that. Your resume is not emphasized enough on the right keywords. And potentially, someone not technical enough is reviewing your resume. Another reason why I believe you might not get interviews is that the agent, recruitment agent, so that you work with, doesn't have a strong enough relationship with the company they represent. And I give you an example here for you to really understand how this works. Is imagine there is, let's just call it a backend developer role out there, and you get a call from a recruiter. He pitches the job to you. He sends your resume to the company for that backend role. Great. Now, I also happen to work on that backend role, and I send one of my candidates. Because I don't work usually with talent acquisition, I work directly with hiring managers and CTOs and I guess people closer to the decision making. The chances of me landing an interview for the candidate that I represent are higher, and also the speed at which it will be done will be increased. And so the reality will be that if you are represented by a recruitment agent that does not have a strong relationship, your application will suffer from it, because I can guarantee you that I will beat that other recruiter on speed. And at the end of the day, companies don't hire the best matching candidate when it comes to skills. They hire based on how quick we can proceed, how fast we can close a deal, and obviously on how good the candidate is on a technical and personal level. And if enough people that the client can trust are vouching for that candidate. So if you work with a recruiter that does not have a strong relationship, you might just be skipped. So yeah, keep that in mind. Yeah. Another one. Jesus, I'm getting too comfortable here. Another one that another reason that you might be skipped on and not passing the resume screening is simply going back to you working with a recruitment agent. The fact that the company that is hiring is not willing to pay a recruitment agency fee, which usually is around 30 to 40% of your salary. So let's say your salary is, I don't know, 10 million yen per year. The fee the company has to pay for you to the agency is between 3 and 4 million yen before tax. So what happens sometimes is that they have a candidate. The candidate is okay, not great, but they sourced the candidate themselves, so they don't have to pay a fee. And you, because you work with an agency, have to compete against that candidate. So now you guys are both similar skill set, maybe you even slightly above. The reality is that the company will look at it and be like, we will go for the cheaper version. We will go with the cheaper option and skip the other candidate because they just don't want to pay a recruitment fee. So you have to be aware of that if you already struggle out there to land interviews, you being backed by an agent is actually decreasing your chances, because it's just so much more expensive for companies to hire you. So just be aware of that. Um, Another reason that I did mention recently in another video of mine is that if you are in Japan for a couple of years, it's pretty important for you to showcase that you do speak some Japanese. Even if your Japanese level is not that high, you have to put it on your resume, because if you don't, a lot of companies will look at you and they'll put you in the same category of people that you don't want to be associated with. People that are not willing to do much efforts, like lazy people, and also people that don't have a long-term vision when it comes to their life in Japan. And look, a company hiring you means a company investing in you, and the last thing they want is you working for them for a year and a half, and then going back to your home country. So showcasing that you know some Japanese on your resume, even if it's not native or business, like showcasing you have some basic Japanese, will make such a big difference. So make sure to put some emphasis on your resume when it comes to your Japanese level, even if it's not a very high. Try to put some details also on your cadence of learning, etc. Another thing that I want to talk about is what they call in Japan hoppiness. Hoppiness being not happiness, hoppiness. Hoppiness being the fact that you move around, you job hop a lot. Job hop. You hop from company to company. Anyway, I'm trying to make my point here, saying that you are moving too many times from one company to another company, and this is very common for people coming from outside of Japan, right? Because in Europe, for example, from what I know, is that being a freelancer is actually highly regarded, right? You have a variety of skills, and you're you know capable of moving from project to project. It makes you pretty much a valuable asset for a company. But in Japan, a country where we value highly loyalty and company culture, and really the aspect of belonging for the long run, companies see you moving around as like a big issue. And often what I see happening is people from overseas on their resume, they have all those, companies they freelanced for, but they don't even specify that it was a freelance project, or, they were dispatched, or there's no details. So companies that you send your resume to just look at you like, wow, this person is crazy unstable. They stay only 6 months to 12 months in the same company and then they move on. And so what's being seen as a high quality overseas is seen here as an extremely bad thing. Same goes with your internships. Like, don't put down your internships. Nobody cares here in Japan. They don't value it. It just creates more noise on your resume, and it might be one of the reasons that you get rejected and don't get an interview. Another small detail that I noticed a couple of times when I was reviewing a candidate's resume that didn't get interviews was he didn't put his address in Japan. There were no details to kind of confirm the fact that he was in Japan. His Japanese phone number was not on there, because what happens often is when you are on LinkedIn, you have your resume and you send your resume to a bunch of recruiters. So you don't want to put your personal phone number on there, right? But if you don't put your address nor your phone number on your resume, a lot of times companies, might not even understand that you are in Japan. And even worse, if your resume goes through an AI screening process, your resume will get automatically flagged as being from overseas, because this is one of the biggest issues companies have. They post a job online and everyone overseas apply for the job. So if you don't put your Japanese address and your Japanese phone number, you might literally get ejected right away. So yeah, those are some of the reasons that I see and that I feel like a lot of people might miss. Like I said, a lot of them are out of your control. Don't get too discouraged. I think overall, this is maybe for another video if people feel like it's useful. There are many other ways and more efficient ways to job hunt that people don't really seem to look into. But as I promised, a final tip that I want to share is what I will do if I was right now job hunting, knowing what I know as as a headhunter. I will make my resume. I will look up 20 companies that I feel are overall aligning well with my experience. I will look at some sort of job opening if they have. If they don't, I will try to speculate on what they need, and I will create for each one of them a specific resume matching with the right skills and keywords, maybe some motivation letter as well, or whatever. With ChatGPT right now, you can write stuff pretty quickly. For each company, I will have my little folder. And from there on, I will spend one afternoon knocking, you heard me, knocking on every door possible of those, knocking on every door possible of those companies in order to, make my case and ask for an interview. And I'm pretty sure that my success rate will be around 15 to 20% of interviews landed. And that sounds low to you. I can guarantee that that success rate is way lower if you keep spraying and praying for, the job that you see on LinkedIn or whatever, right, on those other job boards. So that's what I will do. I will literally go old school, knock on doors, because I can guarantee you that the people you're competing with right now, they're not doing this. And I come from a door to door background. I know what it is to knock on doors and see magic happen. Sure, you will get doors slammed into your face, you will get rejected, it's gonna hurt. But if there's one thing that I learned from this, hardcore way of selling myself out there, is that the harder and the more painful the rejection is, the more you're gonna learn and the bigger the result will get. So if you're out there, give it a shot. Let me know how it works. I'm curious to hear it. And look, if you get interviews, I made another video a while back where I talk about the main reasons why people get rejected during an interview here in Japan. This is the first video of a new series. I plan on, making those on a weekly basis, and hopefully it's valuable to people. If it is, make sure to let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.